Hello again, and welcome back to another video build. This time around, it's Thor's hammer, Mjølnir, and it's all about the different painting techniques. I really hope you enjoy it. As it turns out, and you might have the same problem, I seem to have quite a few projects going on, all at once. They are all props and characters I really love, of course, but it's time to clean out the shelves. The first prop I wanted to complete is Thor's hammer, Mjølnir, or Mjølnir. I wanted to do some testing on some painting techniques, so I thought maybe a couple of them would be interesting for you too. I'll show you the steps to the finished result, of course, but we'll leave most of it to how to paint metal and how to make it look more interesting, as well as some fake leather towards the end. And as usual, links to everything you need to know, or just might be curious about, can be found in the description. This first method is the commonly used metallic chrome finish. I'll just give you the quick rundown. It all starts with a high glossy black base coat, followed up by the metallic paint of your choice. Make sure you do not go for a full coverage. You'll want the black base coat to kind of shine through in places. This will give it a lot more depth and a brilliant shiny finish. But truthfully, using a lacquer, enamel paint, or a special acrylic paint, or even just a plain rattle can, you can achieve some amazing results with all of them. For instance, a smaller prop, like this broken lightsaber, with its curved lines and lots of small details, will simply look just amazing by using the same two simple steps. This next painting style, it looks kind of brutal, at least before it's completed, that is. It will be kind of like Loki's crown with the display base I did a while back. And as you can tell, a lot of rough brush strokes can add a lot of depth. So for this first painting style, we'll be needing some plain black acrylic paint and some silver gilding wax, or more commonly known as rub and buff. And obviously, since it's a plain dry brushing technique, you'll be needing a set of different painting brushes. You can actually buy brushes that are specifically meant for dry brushing, and a lot of people actually prefer that. But personally, I like to reuse some of my older, well-used and worn-down brushes. Even with the cheap brushes that comes with the Elegoo resin, they can simply be cut down to give a good result. Mostly, I use the short, stiff haired type for this painting style. As a base coat, you could use the chrome finish we already did, but frankly, you can just as easily start off with a plain silver coated prop. However, I should have given it a light sanding before I started, because starting off with such a smooth finish, the brushstrokes kind of slid off in the beginning. But in the end, I covered the whole prop with a lot of dry brushstrokes. Everything is supposed to be non-uniformed, meaning each area has a clearly lighter and a darker weight to it. That gives it more of a contrast and makes it more believable in the end. Then it's time to do the exact same thing again, but now with rub and buff. There's no circular movements, as I try to keep all the brushstrokes in a straight line, all in different directions of course. I use a medium to large brush for the silver rub and buff, but if you try and experiment with different styles of brushes, softer, harder, synthetic, short-haired, and so on, you'd be surprised of all the different results of expressions you get, all with the same approach. It ended up looking rather good, so far. I guess that's if you want this hammer to have a medieval metallic look. I would give it a coat of varnish, and then followed up by a second layer of paint, but this time with a smaller brush. This would be more in proportion with the size of the prop, and add a lot more depth and realism, exactly as I showed you with Loki's crown previously. So, with that painting style done, I'll be moving on to the style I think is the most appropriate for this hammer. I believe it's more like the style you can see of the actual prop in the Marvel movies, or at least as close as I can get. The actual technique we'll be using is more or less the same, but this time I'm using softer and more long-haired brushes. The black paint I use this time is your typical airbrush acrylic paint. I find it to be more fine pigmented and better suited for this. And this time I'm only using circular movements, building up a lot of non-uniform shadows, I guess. If you squint your eyes at it, it would be almost as you see the clouds in the sky. And I should probably mention again, though I'm starting off from the last paint job as the base coat, you can just as easily start up with a plain silver base coat, and you would achieve exactly the same end result. Once I'm satisfied with the coverage of the black paint, I start up with the silver rub and buff again. It's applied the same exact way, using a small soft brush, and with only round circular movements. And even though I'm doing just one pass of the black paint, followed up by the silver rub and buff, there's actually no problem going back and forth between the two. Just experiment a bit with it and have fun. Once it's all done, and you're satisfied with the end result, I would recommend to leave it to cure for a day, or even two, before applying several layers of some high glossy varnish, just to finish off that shine and give it even more depth. That should just about cover all the metallic painting styles I wanted to show you this time, but I also mentioned painting some leather. First off, you'll want to choose what color scheme to go for. So a simple advice would be, do a quick color test, and don't just paint on a little freckle, but rather, if it's possible, do the testing on a bigger area of the prop. It will definitely help you make the right color choice for your project. I went with a darker chocolate brown color, and as for what type of paint I'm using, I'm still sticking with the green stuff acrylic bottles. And I'm sure you all have your favorite brands, whether it's Citadel, Vallejo, or something else, and I'm sure they all work just as well. But in my experience, there is a couple of steps that will make sure you always get a good result. Firstly, always make sure to shake your bottle thoroughly. Secondly, try and find just the right kind of creamy mixture between the paint and the thinner. And lastly, use a heavy paint-loaded flat brush. This way, you should actually get a fully opaque coverage with only one layer of paint. Now we can start building up some texture layers. The first thing I like to do is to add a simple black wash. It doesn't really take that much. You just want to make sure to leave some color in the corners, cracks and crevices. Next up, I add some highlights. I like to build from two lighter colors. Usually, I stick with a lighter shade of brown, and then maybe a type of orange color. Then by mixing the different shades between the two, I have my full palette of highlights to build from. The paint is applied with a soft brush, and it's not exactly dry brushing, but I would say the consistency of the paint I use is rather thick. Since the hilt already has such a wonderful texture on it, I can simply drag the brush along the surface. There's actually just a subtle difference between the layers. Next I apply some wash ink. This will give it a warmer color tone, and also it works as a filter, often giving it more contrast, and it helps to bring out the different layers. I think it looked really good so far, but obviously it's a bit too shiny for the overall look. So I brought it down a bit by brushing on some matte varnish. This made it a lot more believable and realistic. I needed a leather strap for the bottom of the hilt. I could have used a piece of some real leather, but on this project I was only testing out stuff. So I decided to try and make it out of EVA foam. It was all painted using all the same steps and techniques. And just to add some more details, I even added some fake stitches. I may at some point swap it out for a real leather strap. But for now, that was the last piece of work I did on this prop. And there you have it. Just a few ways to go about painting something to look like metal. Hopefully you found something inspirational, or at least interesting. Maybe even something you want to try out yourself on your next project. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell, and we'll try and share our next prop build with you. Thank you for watching.